Ooh, some days it's a nightmare. You wonder, wait, please, Lord, wake me up.
Most of the days.
Yeah. Oh.
Hey Brian, are they doing road counts in the township? There's two.
Where do you see one?
There's one right at my house on Hermel Street.
There's one.
Aren't they to count
You
cars?
just asked me about it, there's one on Mostowski, one on Life Science, I don't know
And I'm
who's doing it, it's not us.
I just asked.
I see,
I can
there's
know.
actually one right by your house coming down
Yeah.
here. There's one by Dave McCulloch, and then my house.
Yeah, I don't know what is it?
I don't know why there would be one on Hermel Street.
It's gotta depend on, I'll call
And
them
they're
tomorrow
gonna
and find
watch
out,
to
but,
see how many,
Yeah,
because they
they
did
don't
that
get
over
them
by my
back
house.
to
Yes.
I mean, sometimes they'll stick one around somewhere, but I don't know why they do it.
Is Frank not coming? Is Frank here or no?
No, I don't see him.
All right, then I'll find out.
Intimidated by Carl tonight.
I want to sit by my good buddy Joe. I don't get to do that often, so.
That's what you should be sitting for.
Oh,
Okay, very good. Okay, call to order the Scott Township Sewer and Water Authority, meeting April 23rd, 2024. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Bob Perry.
Present.
George Keane.
Present.
Frank Molinaro, not present. Robert O'Leary.
Present.
Jeff Kovac, myself, present. Public comments on the agenda? Rose?
Okay, on number 5, Bob, I guess you're gonna give a report on the pump station 4 and 6?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just wait on that. On the, treasurer's report, the 2 CDs, have they been, rolled over for more time, or what's the status?
Which is it, Rose?
The 2 CDs, the 150, which was the
Yeah,
12th
we
month,
did.
March 2024.
We rolled them over on a 13-month.
Okay,
Okay.
so they're good till 25, April 25?
That would be correct, yeah.
Okay. And on the bills, Karen, I need, Capelito, rural wastewater for 6,000, HRG for 4,000,
Wait, I'm sorry, repeat that one?
HRG 4,000. Did you get the rural wastewater
Yeah.
6,000?
Rose, maybe
What?
you don't want that one, that's just when they go and they power wash the wet wells.
Oh, the rural waste, is that what?
Yeah.
So they washed all the wet
They-
wells?
Yeah, they washed all the wet wells out.
North End Electric, and you had Creative Technology for 2,700.
That was the approved software upgrade.
Okay. And 7,000 for site specific. Okay, the rest are non-agenda. Thank you.
Any other public comment on the agenda? Okay, we'll start with members' report. We'll start with Bob O'Leary. I know you gotta get back to the polls.
So, thank you all. We're jumping the order a little bit. I gotta go back and get back to the Justice Scott Township. I gotta close the polls at 8 o'clock, so okay, I'm judge of election. So we're jumping ahead a little bit. So I have several things I gotta cover. The first is we have a problem on pump station 7. So in pump station 7, you have 2 pumps and they alternate usage. And on one of the pumps, on the discharge, we actually have a leak, about a quarter-size hole in the pipe. And so literally every time that pump is running, it's blowing water into the wet well, filling it up, causing the pump to wear, or the sump pump to have to pump out the wet well area. So we've solicited a bid from North End Electric and to replace the piping, but the reality is both pieces of pipe from both pumps would have been installed exactly the same time. So if this one has a leak in it, this one here is literally probably within whatever amount of time going to have the same problem having a leak. So we're looking at getting a quote to do both of the discharge pipes at the same time. Since we got to make arrangements to have a pumping truck and you're already in the hole, you might as well do the other one. So what we've done is I've asked for further clarification. I want a material breakdown and a labor breakdown, and I've asked them to go from ductile iron to stainless, so that this way here, because of the hydrogen sulfide gas, it tends to be rather caustic and the stainless would hold up better. So all we're doing is right now getting a quote for comparison, and just so we have a discussion, but that's gonna have to get done here within the month to be addressed, okay? So that's pump station 7. With regard to pump station 6, that is where we have a grant. Engineering, including sites, surveys have commenced on this pump station upgrade. We are waiting on flow meter utilization report from JHA companies, from the temporary flow meters that were installed. So once we know the flows, that together with the engineering and the surveys that are being done right now, we can then put the package together and actually go out for bid and begin actually have a project to do the pump station 6 upgrade, which is right down here, down by the ball field where in the playground area. Pump station.
How much is the grant?
$250,000.
Oh, so that's the 250 that you got like months ago you talked about?
Yes. Okay. Pump station 4. We, the sewer authority, were going to do the work ourselves, and we were going to fund it. And as it turns out, this past month, a state representative contacted the sewer authority and informed us that there is potentially grant money available. And if we could hurry up, get a scope package assembled and get an application package submitted, that potentially we could be eligible for the grant. So since KBA, our engineering company, is busy doing the pump station 6 work, what I would like to do is I would like to have a motion to have HRG, which is an independent company that does engineering and this type of work, to actually sit down and write up a grant package. I've already sort of outlined the work and basically put all this document together. And this way here I have one company working on one pump station, another company working on another pump station, and try to get the grant money while it's eligible. I think if we just stayed with KBA, I think the process would be too slow. We're not going to get it in time. So I would like to solicit a motion, if possible, to do that work. Okay, so can I have a second on the motion?
So you want a motion to hire HRG to do scope work on pump station 4?
Yes. And actually then there's an application process that they need to fill out the proper documents, and then
What's the potential amount of the grant?
potentially $200,000.
What's the cost of the engineering approximately?
I
Do you have
don't.
any ideas?
You might want to ask Bob on that.
Bob, is there any idea what the engineering firm will charge to do it?
No, offhand, no.
Just curious.
So this is just for 4?
So I believe what I'm going to ask them to do is I'm going to do pump station 4 at a minimum, and if depending on the money, if I can get money for pump station 7 and be able to do that and start to do some of the upgrades in pump station 7, I'm going to try to get that included as well.
Okay.
Okay. So and again, it comes down to how much money is available and when can we get it? It's, yeah. Because it's all gonna have to be, not only do you get it, but then you gotta spend it, so you gotta work against that. Yeah, Rose?
What's the deadline that you have to have it in by?
June 30th, I think. I think June 30th. I think it's June 30th and it's good to the end of the year, I think.
So you're looking for a motion?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna need a motion, for to hire HRG to do the work, on a grant for pump station 4 and possible for pump station 7.
Yes.
Do we have anyone to make a motion on that?
Well, I made the motion, I guess.
I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any no's?
Yeah, are we putting an amount on there or what?
They had, no, it's the grant.
I know, it's
That
the
possible
grant.
grant is
So,
$200,000.
I'm hoping to get all $200,000 is what I'm hoping to get, and then it'll get us to be able to do more work.
Okay, but that
Pump
was.
station 4 is not gonna cost $200,000.
Yeah,
that wasn't-
pump station 4 is
that wasn't
probably,
my question.
pump station 4 is probably 50 to 75 grand, and then, so if I can get more for the other one, I will. Okay?
Okay, my question was about, like, I'm all for it, so don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, how much are they gonna charge us to do the grant work and do your? You think-
I don't have a dollar, I could ask them.
Yeah.
So you're talking an average engineering firm is probably out at $150 an hour nowadays.
Yeah,
And so you're gonna have, let's say 10 hours, so 15, so I'm gonna say probably $5,000 worth of application fee, time.
yeah,
I'm taking a stab, I mean, I haven't gotten a number yet from them.
okay. Just
Okay.
like, you know, like, as long as it's not like 40,000 or something, you
Yeah.
know, 'cause so,
I
okay.
think we put
Okay.
that grant out of a hat.
So, next item is, and I'm asking, but I don't need the answer now, I'm just asking just so we have an answer for the books. There were 2 properties up for judicial sale. One was the Leader property, and the other was the Brayer property. And I would like an update, did the thing actually go to sale or not sale, or did the owners put up tax money to get it off of judicial sale? Just because,
Neither one of them went to sale.
so then they did put some money against it then, I guess?
They were
Either
something
that
else,
or
but
just
they went to
continue
sale.
to the next sale.
Okay,
No, the next sale,
It's probably
Was-
June,
no, I think.
or it might be, oh,
It
it's,
would
the ju- is it, it was the judicial sale?
The judicial
So it might
sale.
not be until the end of the summer.
They had the spec on, I think.
I could find
Yeah,
out.
Okay.
they both got moved to the second sale, so I know that, and I believe that one is out completely now.
So typically when that happens, some sort of payment arrangement is being made, and so long as it's paid before
Okay.
the second sale, they'll take it out, but I could keep an eye on that. If you
Okay.
remind me, I'll check in.
okay, I could send you an email on that, all right. Next item, I would like to, at the supervisors meeting, last week, 2 supervisors were present. And they, in Article 9, Section 9, they made a motion, that the sewer connection has to be completed within 30 days. And so I would just like to just make a statement to that. And so I have here an application from a certain party. And this particular applicant partially completed an application on 2/6. However, they didn't actually submit the application until 2/15. So they wasted 2 weeks of their 30 days, they did. At the time, we indicated that these documents were missing crucial information and that we can't process this information, and they did not actually submit the documents until 4/1. So by that policy that's been passed, this application now will be rejected. I have here another application.
Hold on. So, again, are we talking about
Yes.
item number 9?
Yeah, number 9.
Okay, so again, I don't know what's being proposed specifically, because I haven't seen advertisement, but based on this, it does say ordinance to require a completed application to be processed within 30 days. So my understanding would be, if that application comes in and it's deficient because it's not completed, that 30 days doesn't start to run until it actually comes in completed.
I'm interpreting as in, the complaints are that we are too slow in processing the
Well,
application.
that may be the case, I can't answer that, but my point is, the way I read this, the 30 days runs from a completed application. So
Okay.
once the application is reviewed, if it's rejected for being incomplete, then the 30 days isn't gonna start to run until the applicant provides a completed application.
Okay,
I mean, I'll defer to one of the supervisors, maybe you
Well, I
have some.
wasn't there the day
Oh,
it
okay.
was brought up, so I haven't really discussed it with them, but it sounds something like you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, again, I
The
haven't
30
seen
day-
the advertisement, but.
I think the whole thing is that the notification that it's incomplete, I think there's 10 days that the sewer authority has to notify the applicant within 10 days that it's incomplete.
Right.
I think that's the whole.
well, and again, I'm just gonna make reference, because, and I guess the way I'm looking at it is there's a lot of, quote, hearsay that goes on, and I understand they put Carl and you and all the other people in predicaments where, oh I made this application. Well, here's a second application. The sewer permit was filed on 3/11, and at that time, we informed that person on the day of application that you're missing documents. On 4/4, they took the original document, and I guess they pitched it, they gave us another document, and while it had more relevant information, it was still incomplete, and we informed them that it was incomplete at that time. So as of tonight's meeting, 4/23, we haven't gotten an application. So my point is there's a lot of hearsay. I can't process an application without the information, and they know it. The third case was, we had a meeting on April 2nd, where it was a special executive meeting here, where we discussed businesses, and in particular, it was the Colmar USA, and they were all up in arms that we're not processing their application, and Tom Riley, principal owner, chief project engineer for the corporation, actually sat there in the meeting and publicly stated for the record that he would, quote, resubmit an application with the correct information. Because one document said 300 EDUs, another said 70. Today's 4/23, the meeting was on 4/2, and I have yet to receive a completed application. So my point is there's a lot of blah, blah, blah hearsay, but I'm not going to chase them. It's not this job, the group's department, to go chase. You want an application? You come with the information and we'll process. You don't, we're not chasing. Every group has been notified what they need, okay? Since the 4/2 meeting, here's 3 cases, okay? Now, the reason I'm sort of asking this, and I'm mentioning this, is if you look at your zoning permit information, if you read section 6, it says a zoning permit for any structure that requires a septic system, water or traffic access will not be issued. There's no mention of a central sewer system here. Why don't you revise this and mention to the people, oh, by the way, if you want to hook up to the central sewer system, you probably need to go get some information before you come in and make an application. Because what's happening is people are just like, we'll go get a permit when we sort of feel like it. And then when you say, well, by the way, you need this and you need this, then they don't have it and they're not prepared. Okay? Just a suggestion. Okay? So that's that item. Okay? And then lastly, I have here, and then I'm gonna get out of here. The supervisors, on item number 8, made a motion where they were going to do a sewer connection ordinance prohibiting capping and tapping fee imposed by the sewer authority. So, for the record, and this is my statement, and maybe you're going to misconstrue it, I'll take ownership of it as my statement. The supervisors, in an effort to attract more businesses to the Scott Technology Park, voted to cut big business a deal by capping our fees, thereby tying the Scott Township Sewer Authority's hands with regards to collecting fees from incoming businesses. As a result, you, the ratepayers, will most likely see an increase in your monthly fees, especially as we need to upgrade our 10 to 13-year-old sewer system infrastructure. Right now, we're doing our best to try to get grant monies, and that's why you see me here trying to make motions to try to get money while it's available. But certain pump stations are in excess of $500,000 to $1 million for upgrades, okay? We have 7 of them that have to be upgraded. They're all obsolete and they're breaking. So, it is my request that you, the ratepayers, investigate what was actually disclosed at the last meeting, and remember this next year at your time of election, and that your supervisors that were here in attendance last meeting, maybe you should think that they are voting for big business and not you, the ratepayers, because that money that the business should be paying would help subsidize these repairs, not you people. So that's my statement. Okay, thank you.
So we're gonna go right to number 6, review and approve, last month's minutes.
I don't have an agenda.
Other agenda down
I
there?
gotta go.
All right. Oh, you're not.
I don't have an agenda.
That's good.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Thank you. All right, y'all, good luck. I looked over it. I will make a motion to approve last month's minutes of March 12th. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Treasurer's report. George, I asked you if there's anything unusual. I usually make that motion. So I'm gonna make that motion to accept the treasurer's report and reconciliation. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Engineers report. Gary's not here. Committee report. Mike is not here. Okay. Solicitors report.
Well, the only thing I could really update everyone on is that we had a settlement conference before Senior Judge Menorah on the pending lawsuit with Dennis. And despite everybody's better efforts, there was no settlement reached. The judge was trying to get money from both the township as well as the sewer authority to refund, in essence, monies that the Dennises have paid to date for towards the sewer rate for their failure to tap into the system. The municipality, the township has an insurance carrier on board. They didn't believe that they should be paying any monies towards this. And our position as the sewer authority was that we don't have the authority to refund these monies because they were properly collected. And further, it's our position that the Dennises have actually been the ones that have delayed this whole process that caused them to continue to pay. So there was no settlement reached. Judge Menorah was only brought in as a judge to mediate the matter. He's not the judge trying the case, so the matter will go back before the Honorable James Gibbons, and the matter will proceed. Doesn't mean that it still can't be settled at some point in the future, but at the time of the meeting, or the settlement conference on, I believe it was April 9th, no settlement was reached.
Thank you. Members' reports. Bob Perry?
Well, I guess, what are we doing about the leak on the discharge site? We're gonna table that for now, let it leak?
No, I think Bob's looking to get it fixed, but he wants to go with stainless rather than the cast iron on that. And if we should get being that we're already in there with the pump trucks and everything, get that other one repaired. You were here for most of that with the
Yeah, I
conversations
heard
back
that,
and
yeah,
forth
but I
with
wasn't
Frank.
sure.
I wasn't around.
But will we have to vote on that, or?
Karen?
I don't know, whether or not Joe has access to Dave Tomain's files,
Do not.
because there was a class action lawsuit that we had paperwork on that he was supposed to be working on for defective ductile iron. So I don't know if he can.
I'm wondering.
How long ago was that?
We should ask our engineer how the stainless and the ductile intermix also. Imagine it works, but something we should think about.
Anything else?
That's all.
George?
No, I have nothing.
Okay, Frank's not here. We already spoke. I have no comment, anything to add to any type of report. Okay, we'll go on to item 12, which is to pay bills. Do we have a motion to pay, March's bills?
I'll make that motion to pay the monthly bills.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, public comment. Rose?
Okay, Joe, are there any pending court dates on any matters?
Not that I'm aware of.
Jeff, I
Yes.
believe I read the Sunshine Act law, well, whatever, I think it was the last meeting or the meeting before, about posting the agenda and where the meeting takes place. So it's on the wall there. It would make more common sense to put it on the door. I mean, that's like, where's Waldo? You know, I mean, really, put it on the door, I mean, or on one of the entrance doors or something, not on the wall, you know, where you're gonna be searching for it. It's ridiculous. Okay, I gave you the list of bills. Now, going to the supervisors meeting, so one of the things that we probably don't have the answer because it was only a motion made to author an ordinance, and I don't know how it's gonna be, well, it has to be publicized and then probably get public comment on it. But one of the things that you probably don't have an answer for, but if you're involved, you should check into, or maybe you already have, for instance, if you have a warehouse that does manufacturing, or you have a hotel building, or you have a motel building, or you have an apartment building, or you have a hospital building. So how are EDUs going to be calculated for them? I don't know if the HRG or the engineers, but it's just, you know, it's just a comment.
Okay, Rose, I was out of town for the most part of this month.
Right.
I think the whole township knows. I only have an idea what's going on. It's just, you know, bits and pieces. However, I don't wanna comment. I'm aware some of the things that you brought up too is in, you know, in the back of my thoughts. But there's nothing presented in front of me to really comment, and, you know, I really wanna be cautious on commenting on something that doesn't even exist just yet.
Yeah, well, I don't expect a comment, but it's
Well,
something if you would incorporate or think about it, or if the proposed ordinance is, you know, sent to you for review, I don't know how it's gonna happen.
The only thing I know is they wanna cap us, and then it was a lot of things that you've mentioned, that we had like local dealings just recently with apartment complexes and everything. Where does that leave us? So I don't have an answer. There's nothing yet presented to us, but the questions that you're telling me are questions that are just going through my mind, you know, just to prepare myself to see what is yet to come.
Right, well, like I said, I mean, all of these things, whether it's a hotel, a motel, or an apartment building, a hospital building, a nursing home facility, a warehouse, and a warehouse could be just storage, or it could be manufacturing. Those are all things that somebody has to, you know, look
And if
into.
it does get to that point, Rose, and I'm sure the board is gonna wanna just have a discussion with, you know, maybe like HRG, you know, with discussing this, you know, but like I said, until something is here, I don't know it's here, and I'm only getting bits and pieces, to it, so I'm just trying, you know, as I landed Sunday, I'm just trying to piece everything together right now for me personally.
Okay, and you talked about applications. Now, this is a copy of a land development application, which I believe I asked the question, I don't know if it was the planning commission meeting or the township meeting or even the sewer meeting. Was this, and it's on Justice Boulevard, where it's going to have, it says here 3 family houses. Do you know by any chance, has this application, have you assigned EDUs to it?
I'm unaware unless anybody, like I said, I was out of town. I'm not.
Karen.
It's 680 Justice Boulevard.
Is that, Quarry?
Yeah,
Okay. Mr. Quarry came in to apply for a permit. I completed the application for him, and as a matter of fact, he told him how much it was, and he did not like the cost, and he took the application with him, walked out the door, said he was gonna talk to Carl about it, and I haven't seen him since in the sewer office.
do you know what the date was on that?
I can look back because I copied it before he walked out.
Okay, well,
He did apply and receive 9 permits from the Lackawanna River Basin Sewer Authority, but he still has yet to have 1 permit from Scott Township Sewer Authority.
well, see, that's the issue, like LRBSA, I believe the Scott Sewer Authority is supposed to do the, issue them. And this confusion of going to LRBSA versus Scott, you know, like, somebody needs to clarify that. So, now, on the, CSF, invoice for this past, let's see, it would be for, ending 4/22. There was an incident there was a manhole in German that was broken, and I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it's lengthy, and, they were contacted, and it says here, determined the manhole actually belonged to LRBSA, and it was like 10 feet away from the Scott Sewer Authority, and LRBSA was notified, and they authorized Rock Bottom to make the repairs in the bill. There's a $255 charge here, so, this $255, shouldn't that have been billed to the LRBSA instead of the ratepayers paying for it? It's an LRBSA manhole, it's down, down in German, this was on 3/18, and it's $255, and this is what I keep talking about with these invoices. You're not supposed to be paying, these invoices, and they're not even a part of the sewer system.
First, I'm aware of that, manhole. Carl called me immediately, we thought it was ours, okay? Later to find out, just like it said, it is the LRBSA. I will have an answer about this $255 for you.
Well, right, I mean, okay, so
Yeah.
I understand it needed to be repaired, but now you know who it belongs to, so being that, they're gonna pay the contractors, well, let them pay the $255.
I agree, I'd like to
I
find
mean,
that out for
no,
my
that
own
doesn't-
personal self. Anything else?
Now you can let somebody else go, I have to make sure.
Edie?
Can I see your name one more time? I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. You're fine. And she said application, so I'm on. Last May, I did a right to know. Approximately a week later, I did receive an email due to staffing, I don't remember the words exactly. I'd have to wait 30 days, either 30 days or 30 business days, no clue. Never heard anything. Then, I did another one in August. Walked in, handed it in. No email, no call, no nothing. I sent an email, no response. Then I did the third one. Still nothing. So, since you guys are here, this is my right to know. And we have a stenographer, so that's even better. I am personally handing it.
And I see that you're personally handling it. Very good.
The thing of it is, with the right to know, is you can contact the state board of right to know, they don't hand out penalties. But if people keep getting ignored, they're gonna get pushed and go, what is that? Civil court, court of common pleas? And then it's gonna come back to the people that are paying sewers. And I know I'm not the only one, but I can't speak for others. I can only speak for myself.
We got that, and
She has it in front of witnesses.
since we got it, I see it, I acknowledged it.
Now, we'll see if I get a reply.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, anybody else? Mr. Brunzel?
To answer the LRB from Rose asked, you go to the LRBSA first and then come to the sewer authority, correct?
Well, okay, may I respond
Yes,
to that?
absolutely.
Because I know you're gonna ask that. Since I've been here, there is a form that the LRBSA uses for processing, and it says municipal official. Now, Jeff hasn't called down to the LRBSA, but Stanley had called down and told Mike Matichak that nobody gets an LRBSA permit unless his signature is on that document. Okay? Now, I don't know, the older population that was working there, that was working very well. But now, they take whatever, but it's an excellent point, because if we have that document and it comes into our office and Jeff has to sign it, that puts us on notice that a sewer permit should be coming. So that would be helpful.
But what is the process right now? We don't know, or like,
They're
you say,
supposed to come to the sewer office, that document is filled out, Jeff signs it, or he has me sign it and initial that I signed it with his permission, and then they take that with them to the LRBSA, and they come back with a copy of their permit, and we then proceed to process their sewer application that they submit to us, hopefully and usually the same day.
just curious, I was just
Yeah.
curious how it works.
I understand, thank you.
Carl?
Just so we're clear, I haven't signed any of those forms in forever. The last ones I signed, I called Bob about when he was chairman. And he told me to go ahead and sign them, there was two there. I used to sign them, and then Stanley was working here, so he was signing them. Prior to that, I used to sign them, then in between, I used to sign them. When they told me not to sign them, I stopped signing them, and then.
So you stopped
Bob had me
signing it,
sign a
Stanley?
couple, so there haven't been
Did
any
you
signed by
sign
me in
Warren's?
ages.
No,
Maybe, I don't know, it was a year and a half ago. But he doesn't require a sewer permit until he builds something. All he has to do is verify capacity, which he did, so he doesn't need a sewer permit to do a land development, he needs capacity, and when he builds, he needs a permit, he hasn't built it.
my question would be, how did he get LRBSA to tell him he's gonna have 9 hookups? And then he brings it to her and he takes it back. I don't understand what happened there.
Right. He didn't
So
like,
my question, I guess, Carl, if you know it.
Yeah, I don't know where he came up with that number on his own. I mean,
Well, you said he went to LRBSA
first,
and came to you with that paper from LRBSA or no? He just told you what they said?
he sat here.
I may have
was
signed
called.
that, honestly, I may have, it was a while ago, and so I may have.
One of, okay,
Just being here,
no,
I may have signed it, but I didn't
But
sign it
he-
for 9 to you, I just signed one paper.
I'm trying to do one person at a
And
time.
our engineer.
Okay, so he testified that he had a permit, and I believe, he was asked by 2 different people, do you have your sewer permit? He said, yes, I do. But I happened to be sitting next to him at a subsequent meeting where he said that, I said, did you get your sewer permit? He said, oh yeah, I got my sewer permit. He says, I'm good friends with Mike. I said, oh, okay. Mike Matichak. So I don't know what conversation he had with Mike Matichak, but he pulled 3 permits for single-family dwellings from the LRBSA, and then the remainder 6 for his development.
He pulled the permits for them from LRBSA.
Correct. They're $600 per EDU. So he paid
And back to
$600.
back to what you said about, he was asked if he got a sewer permit. That was asked by me, by the way.
I did not know that.
And he
But I
told me-
heard about
And he
it.
told me yes. And then the following, whenever I asked him about it, I said, oh, he said, I thought you meant LRBSA, not the Scott Township Sewer Authority. So that's how that transaction went.
He told you that?
What?
He told you that?
It's on the record. So, I mean, cause I asked him about it,
Mhm.
and he told me, yes, he went to the sewer authority. Then the following week, he said, oh, I thought you meant the LRBSA. So, that's all I'm asking, how the process worked. I wasn't clear, so I know with Zach's, he had to come in and get a paper signed, take it down, pay them money, then come back and pay, and get his permit. That's all I'm asking.
It was the same?
Yep.
That's normally how it works, unless there's a monkey wrench or a misdirection. But usually when somebody comes in to our office, their application is reviewed, and, I mean, there's a list of things that they need, and they're not on there. If they're not on there, they're immediately told to their face, and I write it on there what they need, I make a copy of it, and they walk out with the application so they can then fill it out and draw their diagram. I have one that's out now because, they're coming in, they bought 2 lots and they wanna do a lot combination. So, I mean, it's up to them whether they're gonna do it or not do it, remove the property line, I mean, but they're not ready to build. But
Well,
that
yeah,
would be
that's what-
available to them anytime.
Like, I don't know if you can answer this either, but what is the most incompletion on an application? Like, for example, is it the lot number, is it the SKU number, is it the location? What is it that's, when an application is filled out, like, what is mostly incomplete on it? Meaning,
It
you
depends
need
on
like
how
a
complex it
map,
is.
a parcel number, things like that.
Parcel numbers sometimes can be huge because it takes sometimes a month or 2 before it's assigned. Okay, it's usually a part of parcel something, okay? Our entire foundation of billing is built upon the correct and accuracy of all tax map numbers. That's how all of the accounts are created. So it's a critical piece of information for
The tax
us.
ID. Do you have access to that?
Only what I have on the internet when I go to the county website.
Okay. Just curious.
Pardon?
I was just curious whether you had access to it or not.
Okay. Anyone else? Sir?
Yeah,
Can I have your name?
Nolan Schmidt, 135 Elm Street. So I'm here today, ask about a potential forgiveness of my past due on my sewer payment. Is this the appropriate forum for that?
What happened?
Okay. So, probably late February, I received a couple notices that indicated I had late payment due. So, it kind of took me by surprise because I've always hand-delivered my payments right to the office well before the 1st. So, I called the office and I got a printout of everything, all my transactions. My wife and I moved to the township in July of 2023. So then, sometime in July, I called the office to notify of our move, set up an account, and then I was sent the coupon book. And so,
You
looking at
received the coupon book in December.
No, this was July of 2023 when I
Alright. moved.
Called the office, let them know we moved. So I got the account set up, got the coupon book. Now, I do not recall, and I tried to get phone records to see exactly when in July I called, but I do acknowledge that, so August 9th is the check dated. August 9th, I paid $158, so at that time, I understand that was late, technically, that was not there by August 1st. But the reason, so since then, I've not missed, or not had a late payment at all, but every month I was charged that extra $7.90, that 10%. Every month, $7.90, $7.90, $7.90, until this year, then it was $8.40, $8.40. So including this month, I now owe an extra $73.10. So I'm acknowledging that by the book, my August payment was late, as it was not by August 1st. But the reason I'm asking for forgiveness is because I believe that I did not receive that coupon book until after August 1st. Just because of when I moved in July, I called, getting it in the mail, and then bringing the payment to the office.
When did you acknowledge that you were late?
I acknowledge that it's late based on.
So when did you, because we put out coupon books along with notices with increases, in December of
Right,
last
so
year.
I did get that, and then
No, I just wanna see when he
He's talk-
acknowledged.
Yeah, but he's talking about, this is in addition to the global mailing of the coupon books. When I'm notified of, and find out that somebody has taken up residency in an existing home or with a permit, and you moved into an existing home?
Brand
it was a
new.
new bill.
New build, okay. So, then they would get a coupon book and then grinder pump rules and regulations, and I try to get them out as long as I'm notified that it's a new, billing. So that's why he would have gotten it in July, and then he would have gotten another one in December. So that's two.
Well, so to back up, so the July one, it's unclear when I actually received that coupon book. Like I said, I tried to even reach out to my phone company, say, do you have phone records from July, to see when I called the office to even set up an account? Because in my mind, I'm saying, well, if I called on July 20th, then there's a very likelihood that I didn't get that coupon book in time to get that August payment before August 1st. So, yes, my August was late, but again, I'm just stating on the fact that I didn't receive the coupon book in time to get the payment back to you by August 1st. Regarding the December, I did receive the coupon book in December, notified of the $84 increase for effective January 1st. There was a paper in there that was pink in color, and when I read that, I thought it showed that I had a $39.50 increase. And I just ignored it, thinking, well, I'm not gonna worry about that, I'm just gonna keep paying on time the amount that's due. It wasn't until I received in February 2 notices that confirmed, oh, these are late, you owe $39.50. It's not that this was a surplus, you owe this. So that's what triggered me to do this legwork. But again, the reason why December, I didn't think that it was $39.50 I owed is because I've always been like, well, I've always been early. I'm always dropping it off by hand, not doing with the mail, right to the office well before the 1st. So I just always assumed I've always been good, so I definitely don't owe money. So, yes, in December, had I read that document, I would have come to you guys the January meeting and asked the same forgiveness for what I owed July or August through December. But now I'm asking it now because I didn't recognize that until I received the notices in February.
Do you have
I can pull out the account information, you can look at it.
I was gonna say,
I had the printout.
I would like to ask you for your copy too, just to see, because I'm getting your numbers and finding dates in
Yeah,
my
I mean,
head,
I
but
had
I wanna see
the
something.
I have all the printouts of the checks that I gave too, but yeah.
This is something I can't do my head, so, but let me look, and you're running through a lot of numbers over here, and I wanna check. And then there was a lot of confusion with the increases too, so we were getting a lot of phone calls. But I will look into that, you will get a phone call from me.
Okay.
As I call everybody that has concerns on something.
Okay.
All right?
Appreciate it. Do you want, I don't care if you have these, do you want these? This just shows all the checks from August through
You feel like you need them?
Is it on
the
the?
copy of the
Absolutely,
check.
it might give us a new
All right.
insight into something.
If you like us to make
That's fair.
copies, we'll give them.
No, I mean, I can print them
No,
off my
that's fine.
website, so.
I just can't, there's a lot of numbers you throw
Yeah.
at me, and,
Uh-huh.
and I know there's increases and everything, but yes, we will.
And I'm fine with the increase to 84, and I've been paying that, but it was just that one. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you. My name is Jeff, by the way,
Yeah,
so
yes,
you'll be
thank
getting the
you.
phone.
Nice to meet you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Hi, can I have your name?
I'm Carol Stemrich, 54 Silver Meadow Drive,
Could you spell your last name for me, please?
Stemrich.
Thank you.
I had a similar situation, however, it's different. This is my nephew, and we were comparing notes a few weeks ago, and I thought, oh, I didn't even think about, I was told to write a letter, but I didn't do that. There was a month back in, 22 that I forgot, and when I went, it was February, when I went to pay March's, I realized my mother had died, and I think I was just disconfigured, because you don't get billed, you have to deal with the coupon books, and I think I just, forgot it. So I paid it, when I discovered that, I paid it. Now, I never noticed, the late charge fee on there, I never paid attention to it, is what I should say. The town I lived in prior to this always waived them, they never, unless you're, consistent, they never charged me the late fee. So then I didn't receive, so then that happened in February, so I didn't get anything in July, it wasn't until December of 22 that I received, the coupon book and the thing, but I never got a late notice. Reading, and maybe, I'm not clear, I didn't realize they were late charges, it just said $79 owed, so I thought, oh, I already paid it, so I didn't even pay attention to it. But apparently what it meant, I finally made a phone call and found out, because I find the bill, that paper you send out confusing for me.
Okay.
Because it doesn't say you're late, it just says you owe this amount of money. And I, in my head, said, no, I don't, because I already paid it, that type of thing. So and then, in this past, like he said, he got late notices. I never received anything like that.
Okay. Now, you're going back in 22.
Yeah.
However, I understand where you're coming from, where people
And
were
I'll
just
be
getting.
happy to pay the late fee,
Okay.
I just don't wanna be paying $200
Okay.
because I neglected to.
However, I'm sure we had this in 22. I know we used to just send out the coupon books, but however, we as a board decided, I'm not gonna call them quarterlies, because I don't wanna be stuck on saying, to a date. But we do send out bills 3 to 4 times a year as reminders on that. And we.
When I talked with the person, she told me that, however, I never received
Okay.
them all.
Because this way, you're only, say if it's every 4 months, multiply, 4 months, 4 times the $840 now, which is, $32, $33 that you should be behind. It won't be astronomically where it was the once a year. So we are improving slowly. We do get them out. And actually for this past, because of the increase this year, which confused a lot of people, we even sent them out very early. Just to give reminders, because we knew there was gonna be a lot of confusion on what is going on. But I do think there are time frame of 22, we honestly, those notices have been started, so we're on this a couple of years. I wish we can do it every month, but it's not feasible.
I understand that, but I guess what I'm saying is, I'm happy to pay the late fee, but not the accumulating late fee, because
Have you been being charged an accumulating late fee from
Yes.
22
Yes.
to now?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And that's what most, I guess most places do. I've never had to pay late fees before, so I don't really know how that works. But-
Yeah, I know. My opinion, I pay it yearly, because it's the only way you need it, to be honest with you.
Well, no, this was just, it was,
Yeah.
as I said,
I know,
it was a bad month, I completely forgot, but I
don't like
paid
that
it
interest either.
and didn't even think about paying the late fee.
Mhm.
Now, I'm happy to pay late fee, but not the accumulating one. But if I
What
have
did-
to, I have to,
If I may call you Carol, because I didn't get your
Yes, of
last name.
course, it's
Okay,
Stephanie. And
we're
yes, you
gonna,
may call me Carol.
we will pull your records.
Okay, well, it's
Okay.
already been, and I do have,
Okay.
I didn't bring them with me like Nolan.
But the only thing I do have to say, I know, because I said, do we send out the late bills? Because, like I said, I wanna see people, if they have late bills, only get, $30, where it's reasonable, not, a year later where, it's really up there. So but it falls in the time frame where we've been sending them out, because if you get your coupon book, one, it's gonna be in your coupon book. Secondly, that coupon book address is the same address that we use to send out, delinquent notices too. So, if you want, I can grab your number too.
Okay.
We could pull your records. I don't know, I can't give you an answer tonight.
Okay.
I will gladly look this
I
over.
just, for my brain, it's
Mhm.
just confusing, and as I said, I'm happy to pay a late fee, but not the accumulating late
Right.
fee. Because I was,
Let me pull, I think
Okay.
his is more clearer to me
yeah,
than yours, to be honest, but I will take a look and look into it, and, just like what everybody else should do, come to the meetings.
well,
And I think my record stands when speaking to both of yous, with any person that comes up with a question. I actually take their phone number, because I believe a meeting is where things start. You're not gonna get the answers to the meeting, and, I think my record shows with the people, you're getting a phone call within the next 24, 48 hours from me. I might not have the answer, but it's just to acknowledge, thank you for coming, and this is how it should be done.
I didn't even realize she had these meetings. No one was the one that informed
I wish I
me.
realized we didn't have these meetings.
So, well, yeah, so anyway.
All right, so we'll pull that, so thank you, all right?
thank you very
Anybody
much.
else? Rose?
Okay, I hope you're working on that grinder pump, situation, because this bill for this was $3,730. So, and again, now here's one other one. On March the 15th, there was a, groundwater infiltration. So the resident was advised to change the ground around the pump to divert water away from the pump and to avoid future repairs, $285. So nobody keeps track of when is this repair gonna be made? And if we get heavy rain again, and that has to go out again, that's another, because like, hey, somebody's paying their bill, $285. And yet you have people that come for just a simple thing, and I don't know what, his amount comes to. And here, you're paying people's bills, $285, $255 for LRBSA, that's got a lot more money than the Scott Township Sewer.
Rose, I will look into that. I don't know why, and I don't have an answer why, but next month's meeting, you'll have an answer over that $255.
Yeah, well.
I'm not gonna push the buck and just say, well, yeah. You will have an
Well, I
answer.
know, but
Maybe it might not be what you like to hear, but there'll be an answer.
Well, I know, but I thought we were working on this
Mhm.
grinder pump.
Well, Rose, we are working on the grinder pumps, okay? It just seems like we're getting, every time we wanna dig more into it, we're really getting sidetracked. And I think this time we really getting, not sidetracked, it's stopping the momentum of, moving the processes faster, because just, for
Other
instance,
pressing issues.
with a lot of pressing issues that are coming on us, it just seems like we just can't focus on that. I wanna get that, I do wanna get rid of them, I'm on record, but I wanna do it with a plan. I wanna explore every option, okay? And I wanna give the people, a chance to have something to say and be fair to the people and put them in a direction.
Well, we've had that meeting.
I know we have,
for
but
people
it's
to
still,
come,
but there's a lot of things that keep coming right onto the sewer authority that this,
$3,730.
I understand.
That you're putting out and you're paying other people's bills.
I understand that, Rose. And look, all those bills that are outstanding, not that I'm saying the right word would be on the back burner, we're still gonna do what we can to go after that. I just don't have an answer for that one just yet.
I know, but Jeff, you can't send a bill from 2 years ago.
Mhm.
I think there is, Joe, isn't there a cutoff date? I mean, if I got.
What do you mean, Rose? Just so I understand.
I mean, if you send these bills out and it's 2 years later.
Oh, I know what
Yeah,
you're saying.
you can't do that.
No, I mean.
And anyhow, going back to, these two people, I've sat here and you've made, arrangements with other people for thousands of dollars so you can sell the, you know, they can buy the property and everything else, so whatever
Rose,
the amount
a
comes.
process, and I wouldn't say arrangements, but everything that we do is not a spur of the moment and say yes for an answer.
I'm not saying
Just
you
like
should
I
do it
said,
spur of the moment, but you
The
should, you
two
know, you
people
gotta be
here,
fair.
they're doing it right, we need to pull it. I think it would be unfair to me to say, let's do this, okay?
No, I'm not
Without
saying
looking
you
into
do
it.
it, but-
So the right process, a process to do is, let's go look back into it. And I think that's the right, I think they would be happy with the answer. I
don't
think
forget
they
the
realize they're
things that were
acknowledged by the
done.
board, and I'm gonna look into it.
Just don't forget the things that were done in the past,
I
because you know
understand.
what, I don't forget.
I know,
One more thing.
sure.
She, again, Rose is kinda right. About that,
Brian, I'm always right.
yes, Rose.
Sean Record.
So anyways, Carl's bill came in for fixing because of water, the way the land escaped. How do you guys go about checking on if, like you see this bill and said, and it explained what was wrong? So where does it go from there?
I will normally, because I was, you know, absent for most of the month, look over the bills, and it's usually second or going over by another, a board member, you know, with, what was, say, like negligence
Right.
on it, and then we will send out a bill. The success is horrible,
I'm not talking about the bill though.
okay?
I'm talking about the solution to the problem. Who looks into that? Carl said that the way the ground is sloped is not good. It's draining into the system. So he wrote that on his bill and sent it to you guys. So do you guys now, in 30 days, see if the problem is fixed? Who does? Like, who's gonna?
We have nothing set in procedure with that. I mean, the only thing the sewer authority has is this, you know, the pump service, if these things do
But
break.
if you know there's a problem,
Mm-hmm.
do you notify the homeowner and say, this is why, can you get it fixed, or does?
We would
zoning
usually just send
officer-
them the bill.
Well, again, sending the bill is one thing, but who says
And but
3
getting
months
paid
down-
on it's another,
3
it's
months
a
down the
whole different
road,
thing.
the same thing doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm just saying there's no follow-up on that grinder pump.
I would say the follow-up is not the best. It's a bill that does go out to.
I don't think he's talking about the bill, he's talking about
A follow-
notifying the property owner to avoid the problem in the future and
Right, that's
correct
what
the
I'm
problem.
saying, like, how does that happen, or does it
Carl,
even happen?
Carl tells him the problem. Then when he gets the bill, he knows the problem. I don't know.
There's no
Can
process,
we be
Brian, that we
matched?
have, that, you know, I understand where you're coming from, but there is no process that we have to go out there and
And I
physically
think-
notify.
And again, just to follow up with that, and I understand your point, and it's a good point, but I don't believe that the sewer authority would have any power to force somebody to do anything,
Right.
even if we told them, hey, this is what you need to do to avoid the problem in the future, we can't force them
Right,
to
yeah, I
remedy the
get that,
problem.
just that, see how they're notified and if it was even taken care of, so.
Karen?
In the past and for a number of bills and things like that, there would be times I have a conversation with Carl, and I believe Carl had conveyed to me that he told them, look, you have to do this, or this is gonna keep happening again. You have to do that, or it's gonna keep happening again. So he went out of his way to help the homeowner to eliminate the problem, but I guess it's up to them as to whether or not they took his advice, or just went, eh.
So I
But
believe
mean,
with Carl's,
he would tell them.
Yeah.
with Carl's work, I don't think he's, I know he would not leave anybody in the dark if he saw a problem.
But
He's-
again,
he's
as far
sharp
as
and he's right
follow-up,
on top.
Right.
Again, as
a
far-
follow-up, that's all
I
I
don't
got.
think there's any follow-up.
Just, like, even if Carl went back there, and, you know, seeing that it was, but I get it, you're not obligated to do that.
It leads to arguments with everybody, because they'll think, oh, no, that's not really the problem, and you're wrong, and it's like, you're weighing the fight with everybody.
That's why it's time for this to.
Yeah, it's just
end.
yet
We're not
another
making it.
reason to get out of the grinder pump business.
Right.
And I
Because
want,
then it's the homeowner's responsibility to, you know,
Deal with it,
if
exactly.
they deal with it, they'll figure out how to remedy it
You're
real
right.
quick so it doesn't happen
100%.
again.
So when are you getting out of it, Jeff? You don't have a date?
I'm not gonna put a date on it, because, I wanna plan, and I want the people to know and understand, and have something for the people. We talked about the insurance, our insurance company, which I know we put out several phone calls, I don't think we got a response. I don't wanna just say, hey, let's do it, we can, but no, I wanna have a plan, be as compassionate enough to the people as we can, and, you know, at least we can hang up our heads and we did our best, because you know it's gonna be packed in here. But the board is capable enough, it's gonna be a hard, you know, the decision that we wanna do is the right decision. People are not gonna like, you know, hearing this, but the board is confident, we know this has to be done. But we wanna try to lead everybody in the best direction, not kick the can down the road, that we can. If there's a contingency plan, what to do, however to help them, I wanna make sure we can exhaust every avenue. This board is pretty transparent, and I think you know.
Oh, and pretty sensitive too.
You know, yeah. Okay, anyone else? Rose?
Okay, but going back to this one where it says the resident was advised to change the ground around the pump to divert water away from the pump to avoid future repairs, $285. Well, if you're paying their bill, what
Rose,
do they care?
this-
We understand.
We understand, Rose, this is why we want out,
Right.
okay? And then if we go to court, what is wrong, what is negligence, what is that, it's time, we're going out, like I said, Brian wanted me to put a date on it, I'm not putting a date, I want it done right. People might complain it's too slow. Rose, wait, right now, we're not destitute to get out, okay? The thing is, it's going in the wrong direction. Now is the time to get out. I'm not kicking the can to the next person. We got a good board here that wants to do the right thing. It doesn't have to be done today or tomorrow. The fact is, it's going in the wrong direction. But in business, Rose, you have to have a plan, and I'm gonna give the people a plan, I'm sorry.
Well, you said you went up to Greenfield and it's simple, okay, we could go on and on about this. Now,
That's
as
it.
far as, there should be a page of instructions going back to when people apply for a permit. You know, you need to spell it out, that, you know, you go to LRBSA after this point and that point. Shouldn't there be, I mean, I'm sure Joe can put something simple together, I mean, what's it gonna take, 10 lines?
I think there is a process, but the problem, and
It should
again,
be written down, because it doesn't seem like.
well, I think it's part of the application process, Rose, but I think, and again, I don't know the answer to this. I'm sitting here listening to everything, and one of the questions that I have that I wanna try to find out is, you know, there's nothing stopping someone, it sounds like, from going down to the LRBSA and making an application there. It sounds like they don't have any safeguard, let's say, to say, whoa, wait, did you go to your local municipality first? It sounds like as long as you're giving them money and you fill out their application, they would potentially give you a permit first. And the fact of the matter is, some people might believe, oh, well, if the county's telling me it's okay, well, then the municipality has to tell me the same thing, and that's not the case. So I don't know how to coordinate that, or if it's coordinated. I mean, we could clearly voice our opinion and ask, you know, Lackawanna River Basin to, hey, look, if anybody comes down here before coming else, send them this way. Don't issue them a permit, you're creating problems for us. I don't know if anyone's ever had that conversation.
Well, I don't think it should be a conversation, I think you should put it in writing.
And we can put it in writing, but my point is, they don't necessarily have to listen to us.
Well, they have to listen some way, because they're causing problems.
Well, I agree that that becomes problematic, but
Right.
Karen, the other person that deals with this most, does this make any sense with instructions?
I'm thrilled that Joe has the same idea. The sewer authority had sent a letter to the Board of Supervisors asking for a sit-down to streamline the process to get something in. At the last meetings, Board of Supervisors, you weren't there, Brian.
I was, by the way, I was in Harrisburg and seminars for the township.
I understand that, but you weren't there, but I stood up and I actually, the paper that Bob had, I stood up and I pointed out, in every permit that is given out, there's an instruction sheet. So there's at least 4 or 5 instances where you can just insert the word central sewer down the hall. You need that permit too. It mentions septic systems, but it totally ignores the central sewer system. So
So it should be incorporated with it.
that we can work together, that we're working like a handshake instead of a, you know, well, I got my thing and you got your thing, but that's not the way it should be. So, I mean, if we put them together, change some wording, if there's anything you need down there, okay, you know, fine. Part of the problem is Carl tried to do people favors and he was handing out our permits.
I hand out the applications, I don't issue permit. I hand them the
No,
applications.
I'm wrong, not the permit, but he would give him the application. But with giving him the application, and then he gives them the other one, but somehow they forget to come down the hall. So if they were actually, if he wasn't so nice, if they had to walk down the hall, we would know who was getting a permit. So sometimes if you try to help them, they don't know where to go and take it a step further to complete the
There
process.
definitely, it sounds like, again, there needs to be some coordination. And it's not rocket science, it's
No.
pretty
No,
boom,
it
boom,
isn't.
boom.
Pretty
And,
easy, actually.
you know, and then, like I said, try to get the county on board, or, you know, the Lackawanna County River Sewer Basin
Oh,
Sewer Authority on board, and make things a lot easier.
When I give out a permit pack, it has all the blank applications
Yeah.
in it,
No,
including
that's-
the sewer authorities. The Lackawanna River Basins is readily available on their website, so the people can be getting it there. But-
Exactly, you can't, that's what I mean, you can't stop people, and again, they do ultimately need both, but that, you know. But, you know, kinda to Rose's point, maybe if we did slap on in bold letters, some sort of step-by-step, like, this is what you need to do. Otherwise, you know, your permit's gonna be denied. People will pay more attention to it.
Anything else? Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Carol?
Yeah.
Would you